Hi, my name is Amanda, and I am at Woodland Community College. I'm with the FBLA program, and I'm here to interview Doug Henner. He's the owner of Henner Tank Lines in Vacaville, California, and he's going to just tell us about his story. All right, thank you for being with us today. Can you tell me about how you got into this business?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I was just a truck driver, company driver for 30 years. Always wanted to do my own thing. Um, it's kind of a crazy story. Purchased a house, low of the market. The house went up in value. I was able to pull, and some people can't do this, but I was able to pull $98,000 out of a home. I bought a truck. Um, I had the support of my family, my wife. Started just soliciting. Started to drive the truck for other people. For another company, they took a percentage of the loads that they gave me, and then I decided that I wanted it all. So I started soliciting customers. So start with one truck. Now I run 53 trucks, about 120 employees. And then also, not only do we have the trucking company, then we started a repair shop because we already had a repair shop for our trucks. So then we opened up a repair shop to outside services. So now we service fire trucks, other people.
What made you decide to start doing that? How did you start to grow?
Uh, just it just grew.
Okay.
Just grew. I mean, and I have no. It's for people to think you got to have some. I don't want to dog on a college education, but I dropped out of school in the ninth grade. Just always wanted to work, always wanted to make money. It's kind of what drove me. Now my company's bill out about $33 million a year, and it's just kind of going.
Do you think it was hard for you to learn all the ins and outs doing it without having any background in it? Or
In the beginning, yes, but then I was told by a very wise person, you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. So there was a couple of very smart people that believed in what I was doing. They offered to come to work for us at a reduced rate in the beginning, and then as we grew the business, they've, obviously their pay has gone up quite a bit since then. But everybody else runs the business. I can barely create a spreadsheet. So
so you have people that do that.
people that do it all. Yeah.
Okay. What was the hardest part about starting it?
Uh, how much money you have in the reserves to start to pay your bills, because you have to keep in mind in our industry the money's 30 days from the day you do the work. So if we did it today, we don't get paid for 30 days. So we have to cover all the expenses for 30 days. That was the hardest part, was juggling the money, convincing the lenders, everybody to be patient with us. We went broke twice. We never went completely broke, but we went broke twice. We just fought through it. We laid everybody off in the office. My wife and I, we ran the office, and our industry is 24/7, and we haul fuel, so it never stops. So she dispatched in the night shift, and I dispatched the day shift, and I drove a lot. It was, there's something to be said about carrying a lunchbox every day to work. Um, so
Do you still drive?
no, no, not anymore. I can, but I don't. I still hold my license, but I don't drive anymore. No.
So you just kind of shifted from working it to running it?
Correct.
Okay.
So yeah, that's another thing that a smart person told me is, depending on the business you're going to do. Obviously, if you're doing a one-person business, that's different. But for us, I spent more time in the beginning working in the business, and then so no, the same wise man that told me the other thing, he said you need to work on the business. So I pulled myself out of being a daily driver and that kind of stuff, and started to oversee what's going on, and that was huge right there.
When did you know it was time to do that?
So about 5 years into it, I started in 2006. Um, and then I probably stopped driving in around 2012, and then I haven't driven since. So then we expanded to other stuff. We do the repair shop, the trucking company. We do commercial properties now, which we only own a couple, and then we do business with ourselves on everything we can. So we own the leasing company that buys the equipment. Then we lease it to our own companies. So the service shop, we lease them the service vehicles. We lease the trucking company all the trucks, all the fuel, and just kind of broke everything out that way to kind of protect. Because hauling fuel is a very risky business. things go sideways, they're very expensive. So it's just kind of how it works.
What was like a challenge that you said you guys went broke twice, but what was another challenge other than like financial that you think that was something that someone should know about, like, in just the business sense?
Um, the biggest challenge, I guess, in the beginning was to get a lender to believe in what we were doing, to loan us money to buy more equipment. So, we, in the first 10, 13 years, every dime we made, we put back into the business. We're just now starting to enjoy the benefits of kind of holding off where we are. In our industry, we're dealing with the electric cars, and the state wants they want the oil companies to go away. So we don't know where our business is going to be in 10 years. So we slowed down the growth. We're kind of staying with what we're doing, and we're looking into other things that we can haul aside from fuel to keep it going for the family in the future.
So how do you overcome when things like that, like COVID happens, and then like if the electric cars, not that that would ever happen, but if the electric cars like take over, like how do you dodge those things to keep going?
So the COVID, because we were, we run 24/7, so we were an essential business. We had to keep moving because everybody was still buying gas. Obviously the sales slowed way down during the lockdowns. So, but then we just met. The lenders gave us time. They gave us 90 days, no payments on what we were doing when COVID started, and then that worked out for us. And what was your other question?
Like how do you dodge other problems? Like problems are always going to come up in your business. What do you suggest to people who are starting out? Like how do you just not give up?
You just can't give up. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, people tell me I got my first full-time job. Oh yeah, 40 hours a week. Oh, I remember my first part-time job was 40 hours a week. So we worked 60, 80 hours a week was normal. And even as a company driver, I worked 5 12-hour shifts straight, and usually the shifts went into 13 and 14 hours a day. But again, that's if people want to make money. It just depends on what your preference is. If you're happy with the lifestyle you have, and if you don't need a lot of money to do it, that's great. I just wasn't that way. I always wanted more and more and more and more and more. And then as I acquired it, I'm not saying that I'm rich, but I'm saying as I acquired more, it became easier. So now we have reserves. We have lots of money in reserves. We are paying cash for almost everything now. And yeah. So.
You still have to put in as much time,
No, no.
so eventually it gets better.
Yeah. It's funny that girls in my office tell me when people call and ask what time Doug's coming in. Oh, anywhere between 9:30 and 10:30 in the morning. When I used to start at 4 in the morning, and I usually am gone by 4 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you want to tell us about? Any advice to any business people, future business people,
Future
students?
business people, absolutely. Go for your dreams, man. I mean, you're never going to know until you try. So. Yeah, but you have to understand that depending on what you do, there are other, if you want to start a business, again, if it's a smaller business, there's nothing wrong with that. And for me, I just wanted to get to where it was big enough where it would run itself. And now it's running itself. So, but that took a lot of time and a lot of work. And, but it can be done. And I'm living proof. So
Okay.
it can be done.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming today. And thank you.
You're welcome. So that's it? What is that?
My
Your
phone.
phone? Oh, I thought it was like the ending music.